In sports and entertainment, it's grown folks sports talk with your host Steve Johnson.
What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing out there today? It is the last day of June. Man, this month went by real quick. I'll tell you one of the reasons why it went real quick, because sports in Atlanta usually in June is probably, where we're starting to talk about what's about to happen during the season, football wise. Probably talking a little bit of college football and things of that nature. But this year, a little bit different this year because we have a local team that's actually winning. And what do we learn from that team as Falcon fans? Is there anything to learn? I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But gritty, tough, great win yesterday for the Atlanta Hawks. I'm not going to sit here and try to play I'm such a local fan that I knew we would come out and do, man, I thought we lost that game. I was working yesterday, and when I went to work, I was already sitting here talking to the sports gods, hoping that Trey would somehow miraculously be able to get on the court, and he wasn't. And I was a little concerned. Not even a little concerned. I was a lot concerned. Come on now. Keep it real. Just the day before, Trey had us going back and forth in the game. And then all of a sudden he gets hurt. Milwaukee goes on a run. I should say Chris Middleton goes on a run. And then we're out of the game. So I'm supposed to believe, not even as a fan. I mean, that's a fan of any sport, whether it been the Falcons and, Lord forbid, I know some people say we wouldn't do it. If Matt Ryan didn't play in a playoff game 5 years ago, let me put it that way. If he didn't play in a game 5 years ago, you would pick the other team to win. So no different from the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks were not in a position with their best player on the court, no doubt. And a lot of us, like myself, were probably just saying, you know what? Great season, Hawks. Y'all don't have to apologize to anybody. Trey got hurt, but this stuff is out of our hands. I'll live with it. We'll go on to the next page. And then something happened that doesn't happen a lot in Atlanta sports. There was coaching. There were adjustments made. There was a game plan. Things that we're not used to in Atlanta sports, whether it be the Braves, whether it be the Falcons, whether it be the Hawks. Now, I'm going to tie this into the Atlanta Falcons because obviously this is the Atlanta Bird Gang, and we are proud that we are one of the premier sports groups in Atlanta for Atlanta Falcons Talk. What can we learn from the adjustments that Nate McMillan made? And keep in mind, this is still the Nate McMillan that prior to this run was cast off because he couldn't finish the deal. But yet, here he is in a position, no star player, and I'm supposed to adjust to be a two-time MVP and two guys being paid over $30 million, and I'm supposed to beat them. It's all about adjustments. How many times have we gone over the Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl? Too many to name. And we start talking about coaching adjustments. The second half, we did not make great coaching adjustments. Whether it was Dan Quinn, whether it was Kyle Shanahan, whoever it was. You don't lose that big when you make proper adjustments. Bill Belichick made adjustments. and he was able to lead his team to a victory. Nate McMillan went in there without the most, and all apologies to Devin Booker, Trae Young has put himself on the NBA map, and I'll even go further. He has put himself on the sports map with this run he has made during the playoffs. Tell me right now it's a more polarizing person in the NBA. Yeah, we knew about Booker a little bit. We knew about, KD, obviously. We even know about Chris Paul and his ability not to make it to the finals. But we did not have our star player. And what do? Throw in a 2-year player that's barely had playing time over the last few months. Throw in Chris Dunn to see what he can do. Get Lemon Pepper, Lou Williams to start a game that he hadn't started a game in hundreds of NBA games. And we go out there and we destroy. Let the national media, and I saw the headline, which is so disturbing because the national media always has their own slant. National media will tell you, Bucks fold without Giannis. They were getting beat with Giannis. You threw some young energy out there with Cam Reddish at him. You threw some different looks. You went big. You did some things you didn't do before. And it worked. It worked pretty good. But let the national media tell you, oh, Giannis was off the field, off the court, so it was over. Heart, grit, guts. Those are things I want to hear from our Falcons this year. I want to be able to hear that Arthur Smith made adjustments. I want to hear when we have a 10-point lead, we are doing plays that will put us in a better position to close as opposed to crossing our fingers and throwing up 3 Hail Marys and tossing some holy water, hoping we don't blow it. I don't know Arthur Smith's coaching style aside of what he's done as an OC for Tennessee. I don't know. But I wonder if you go to Arthur's house, and I'm sure he's a sports guy, and I'm sure football is mainly on his mind. But Arthur Smith has to be, now that he's in Atlanta, he has to be looking at the TV and he's saying to himself, man, I just inherited his team and now I got to compete with that absolutely crazy fan base that was at State Farm Arena yesterday that was cheering on a team that did not have their key player on the floor. I have to compete with that energy this year. I got to find some ways to make this team win, and I've got to do it now. I'm going to lose this fan base before I got it. And I make it clear, I'm going to give Arthur a bye year. You have to. This is his first year coaching ever. This is his first year. Just like Mike Smith when it was his first year, just like Dan Quinn when it was his first year, I am going to give him that opportunity. But it's just amazing to me that if you see how we truly made just those adjustments. And that, again, folks, that was with Giannis on the court. Giannis didn't go down to the third quarter. They were still down double digits. Let's not pretend. But I'm a fan who sat here. I'm not going to sit here and try to front with you like, well, I'm Atlanta all the way. I knew they'd pull it off. Yeah, right. Trae Young has been your everything. Trae Young has accounted, without looking at stats, it's easily accounted for at least 60% of your points every game. whether it be via assist or points or free throws. He's accounted for the majority of your offense. And you tell me an hour before the game he can't play? I'm sitting there like, well, it was a good run, Hawks. We're proud of you, and still am. But not for 1 minute did I think they would win that game. Can we be honest? Can we sit here? How many of you honestly can say that you thought we were going to win that game? Don't tell me now. Don't sit back and tell me now. Keep it real. Keep it real with me, y'all. How many people thought we would win that game? That would almost be like people telling me at the beginning of 2016 you thought we were Super Bowl bound. That would just like be telling me in 2008 when Matt Ryan was drafted you thought he would lead us to a 10-6 record at the beginning of the year. It's one of those things where I want to sit here and act like, yes, I had faith. And that faith drew me to, man, please. I saw what the team did to me the 2 nights before. I saw what Milwaukee did with me 2 nights before. Well, am I going to believe they're going to do it now? I don't like phony. I don't like fake and phony. Fake and phony folks are easy to spot and easy to tear down. I know there are some folks that are 100% local, and I'm talking about local teams too. Listen, Atlanta Falcons, last year, I'm going to give you the scenarios in perfect scenarios where I think if we do this, we can win. But I'm not going to go smoke up your behind and sit here and tell you the Atlanta Falcons are due for greatness this year. Not due for greatness. Now, can Arthur Smith captivate me at the beginning of the year? Starting off the year with a win, that would be great. We haven't had one of those in about 4 or 5 years. Give me a season opening win so I can have some excitement, so I can lead. I can take some of this energy that we're getting from the Atlanta Hawks, and that Atlanta Hawks energy is local sports energy. The Braves will feed off of it. The Atlanta United will feed off of it. Shoot, the Atlanta Dream will feed off of it. The Georgia Bulldogs will feed off of it. Seeing a fan base galvanized by success is always a plus in any environment. What can the Falcons learn? And this would be, in all fairness, this is probably not a conversation for Arthur Smith because it's not fair. He wasn't losing. He inherited a team that's been losing. This is more a question for Dan Quinn or Raheem Morris, and not even so much Raheem totally. So now that the Hawks are in this position, and the difference big time between baseball, basketball, and those sports and football. Football has such a finality to it where you have one shot and that's it. Basketball right now, we're riding a roller coaster. When you have a 7-game series, anything can happen. So I am very interested to see how Atlanta reacts and how this carries over. Let me get some of these replies going on. What's going on, Mr. Antonio? He says McMillan. I'm sure you're talking about Brother Nate. Scooter Rain says ball moved better without Trey. Not saying we're a better team, but they played more like a team. And you have to play it. I mean, but Scooter, and that's exactly what I'm referring to. Exactly. The adjustments being made. You knew without Trey, you were going to have to find ways to win, different ways that we have been doing before. Give Nate McMillan credit for finding those combinations. Give Nate McMillan credit for bringing out a very cold Cam Reddish. I know he played a couple of minutes tonight during the blowout game. I get that. But being able to be thrust into the spotlight and checking the MVP 2 of the last 3 years. That takes guts. And it takes a coach that says, you know what, I'm going to do that. Adjustments. Again, I'm not speaking to Arthur Smith. I'm speaking to the past follies of coaches before you. Antonio says we have Waldo fans in Atlanta. Well, you know what? But here, keeping it real. Listen, hardcore, as if y'all hadn't figured it out, hardcore Atlanta Falcon fan, big time local Atlanta Falcon fan. Look, folks, I'm sorry. If somebody over the years has tried to sell me something, and when they sell it to me and it doesn't do, okay, we'll go Jack and the Beanstalk. If I meet up with Jack every year, and every year Jack sells me those beanstalks, and I knew every year he sold me the beanstalks before they weren't going to work. And in Atlanta history, the beanstalks have worked once. And all apologies to Atlanta United fans, but they worked once in 1995. But you keep selling me, and every year I say, you know what? This time it's going to happen. This time we're going to do it. This time we got the team. This time I'm going to go all in. And you get disappointed every time. It's mental. It becomes mental. Atlanta Falcon fans have been taken to the brink a few times. Of course, 1998, again, old school people, 1980, 2012, and the aforementioned 2016 season. We're damaged. We're, not to make light of the word, abused. It's not a feeling we enjoy. And you hear the trolls when the Hawks go through this. You know what's about to happen now. It's Atlanta sports. They'll lose. They'll go down. And then the lazy national media. Well, Atlanta's never won before. That's not a real fan base. The fan base in Atlanta's not this and not that. The fan base is like that in Atlanta because half of y'all not from Atlanta came in here and brought your little East Coast bias and your little New York and West Coast and all that and brought it to my city and infiltrated. That's why. This was a very passionate fan base. In the 80s and early 90s, this was a super passionate fan base. But some of y'all and your mamas and your daddies that couldn't afford to live up in the Northeast and couldn't afford to live in the West, y'all came down here, brought cheap land and put your New York Giants flag out in the yard. Or some folks from unfortunately displaced in Louisiana bring their bring themselves up here to Atlanta and then showboat everything around Atlanta and try to tell us how horrible we are as fans because you lucked up and won one Super Bowl. It's one of those that I love to defend because for those of us who truly been here and those of us who truly endured, we get it. We can't just jump off the bandwagon when it's convenient. For Falcon fans who in 2016, I could be just like some of these Hawks fans. Some, and I say these Hawks fans, obviously I'm a Hawk fan, but some of the entrenched Hawk fans, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to be entrenched as I am about the Falcons. But I 100% will pay tickets, will go to the game to support my Hawks, Braves, shoot when the Thrashers were here, Flames if I had money back then, United will absolutely support. But I can understand when I hear some of the Hawks fans say, well, where were y'all now? You know where we were? We were sitting around waiting for something to cheer about because the Falcons haven't had anything to cheer about. We're anxious to show fandom. We're anxious to show some type of excitement for a local team. And the local fans get it. Local Hawks fans respect the local Falcon fans. It's not like the Hawks have been since we've been in Atlanta. It's not like the Atlanta Hawks have had this long history of sustained success. They've probably been more mediocre mostly. Probably more of a winning culture than the Atlanta Falcons, but they feel our pain. So I'm willing to open the doors for anybody. Hopefully those hardcore fans open their doors for us. That's the way I feel. Antonio said it's hard for an NFL team to build continuity with a new system, too many moving parts. First year, not expecting much out of the Falcons. Just looking to see if the moves we made were the right moves. The only thing I say about that, Antonio, is I said the same thing in 2008. And remember, even with Dan Quinn, as we saw that was fool's gold, but even Dan Quinn came out the box 5-0 when he took over in 2015 and didn't finish well, but he came out the box well. So it can happen. Yes, we're going to be getting to know you, but just like with the Atlanta Hawks this year, we're playing with house money. Nobody expects much from Matt this year. Nobody's thinking our defense is going to be any better than it has been in the past. Nobody thinks our running game is going to hit anywhere. And listen, we don't have any reason to think it is either. But the one thing we do have that we have not had in recent years is a new philosophy and a new person calling the shots up in Flowery Branch. That's where the optimism comes from. I think we have some players that have some talent on this team. No doubt. I really do. But now we have some folks that might be able to push the right buttons and take this franchise on a different journey, on a different mindset than we've had over the last few years. And if we start winning, folks, you're going to see it too. You'll see it in social media. You'll see it when people have conversation with each other. You'll see it in the stands. You'll see it on TV. Instead of seeing red seats, you actually see people at the game. It'll happen. But the environment, you have to change into the winning environment. You've got to. Michael said you thought it was a sure loss. I did too, man. I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend. I'm not going to pretend. I thought for sure we were going up to Milwaukee to close the series. That Milwaukee was going to go up there and close the series out. And look at here. Antonio, Atlanta doesn't have a history of winning. We don't have a winning culture at all. We don't have a consistent winning culture. We do not. The Braves had a consistent culture during the 90s, in the early 2000s. They did. You can't say totally Atlanta doesn't. And see what the thing is, when you really break it down, as much as you have to describe winning culture. Winning culture to me is 75% consistent winning. You can't say Boston has a winning culture right now. From New England to Boston Celtics to the Boston Red Sox, that is a winning culture. I shake my head at those from New York that try to say as far as New York had a couple of extremely fortunate blips. Go down the line. New York Giants had 2 Super Bowls. Outstanding. Eli gets the prize. He brought them in. You take those 2 Super Bowl seasons out, which we can't. Is the New York Giants culture truly a winning culture? Don't go back to the 40s and 50s with me, y'all. I'm talking about of recent. Aside of the Super Bowl years, has the New York Giants actually had a winning culture? Debatable, but I think not. Now, the championship holds, some collateral. You can't sit here and say they haven't won. But have they consistently won? New York Jets, have they consistently won? New York Knicks, have they consistently won? Brooklyn, New Jersey, whatever you call them, Nets, have they consistently won? Yankees, I'll give the Yankees a little bit of credit. At least they have been, for the most part, pretty consistent. But let's not pretend that New York is this hotbed of winning and no other area in the United States knows about it. You know why you're winning? Because you got 30 million people there to tell you you're winning when you do. New York Yankees are probably about the only thing there. Antonio says, I've been a fan for over 30 years. I know the feeling. Hey, Walter, what's going on, brother? Antonio said, it's not really that we lose, it's how we lose. No, it's that we lose. It's not how we lose. It's that we lose. And people want to highlight how we lose. Nobody in history aside of the team that lost knows about how they lost. In other words, in the NFL, the other 31 teams, nobody knows that Buffalo had a great year and went to the AFC Championship game. Nobody cares that Green Bay came within 4 yards of winning the NFC Championship. All you know in the offseason is that Tom Brady doing it again. So it is about losing. It's not so much about how you lose. Atlanta isn't the only team to lose in heartbreak fashion. In recent memory right now, that's probably going to be on the top of everybody's mind. Of course it is. It's not how, it's that we lose. In the Atlanta Braves history, then when they went through the 14 season division winning streak, we won 1 World Series. People could care less about how we won, how we lost. It's that we lost. Does it make a difference? Yeah, it's a good story. But nobody cares about that. But no, it's just get him, Steven. Antonio, we lose because we do dumb things and make not so smart decisions. I agree. We're not the smartest. We don't make the smartest decisions. We don't. But as Atlanta fans, we've just got to take some positive energy from somewhere. So from Falcon fans, I hope you're enjoying. I hope we can somehow translate some of the positivity to take some of that and bring it to the Falcons because they're going to need it. For those of you who have season tickets this year, I hope you guys go. I hope everybody doesn't sell all their tickets. This team is going to need us this year. They're going to need us. We got a lot of moving parts. We got a lot of young parts. We got parts that are untested. And we have a coaching staff that has no idea about what this fan base is about. We've got to show up this year. And I'm not trying to sit here and make excuses if we come out with a poor product, but I am saying I would love to see us as a fan base come out and support this team, even if it struggles a little early. And there could be some struggles. It could be. Antonio I say we lose because when I'm looking at the losses, we had those potential wins. Yes, it becomes how we lose because you started looking at the coaching. I agree a loss is a loss, but if you don't look at how you're losing, how can we make changes? Yeah, none of that is you're absolutely right in your premise to diagnose and see. I'm talking about, if you understand what I mean, Antonio, I'm talking about as a whole. As a whole, we can break down. Now, in the Falcons group, and I know you've been in here, if you break down, we how many times over the last 4 years have we tried to break down, did Devontae make a block? Should Jake Matthews have got a penalty on the play that pushed us back? Should Matt Ryan have called his own play? You're getting into, specifics about how we lost. Aside of this bubble in Atlanta, nobody else cares how we lost. You know what they know? We lost. Ask Philadelphia this week. Ask Philadelphia 76ers fans, do they care about blowing the game by 20 after being up by 26? Do they care about Ben Simmons not being able to hit a free throw? No, they care that they lost. And I'll put it this way. Philadelphia fans had an opportunity to erase from memory that 26-point comeback. They were leading in game 7. They had to lead. Philadelphia goes on to win that series. You don't hear a thing about a 26-point comeback. Philadelphia goes on to win series. You don't hear a thing about Ben Simmons missing free throws. It was the same free throws he was missing in the series prior. It's not like he was hitting 75% in the series before us. But when you lose, people know you lose. I do get your point, but I'm saying, Antonio says can't make adjustments if you don't know how to adjust. But yeah, not in Atlanta, but no, not in Atlanta, no, but their fan base will. Again, so you just made the point. Fan base will know about that. I'm talking about as a whole. Fan base is always fan base can tell you every play, every decision, every whatever. When ESPN comes on at 11 o'clock and they show the highlights, now the day they show the highlights, yeah, you might have an analyst or two break down a couple of things for you. But at the end of the day, next week, when it's all said and done, in the group, we'll still be talking about why Devontae didn't make that block. But overall, the rest of the nation is gone. Just like the Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta Hawks could care less about Ben Simmons' problems. I understand what you're saying about adjustments. That's not, yeah, I get it. I'm not ignoring that at all. But I'm saying at the end of the day, it's about the fact that we lost. And that's the biggest thing at all, that you lose. So what do we do? What do we learn? I learned yesterday that it does not matter. It does not matter who is there. Your star player can be there. Your star player doesn't have to be there. If you have the right person in charge, they can make the adjustments to win. Aside of hardcore entrenched Atlanta Hawks fans, there was not anybody picking the Atlanta Hawks to win that game yesterday. I'm sorry. And unless it's certain people that I saw that were saying that, I don't believe you. And as somebody who's a locals fan, big time, there was no way. Trae Young gone? Psh, no way. No way we win that game. And then I'm at work. Oh, the Hawks up by 8? Is Giannis playing? He is. Hawks up at halftime? What? And right before Giannis get hurt. Hawks up by double digits? What? So give Nate McMillan a lot of credit and hope that, again, I don't know how you bottle up that energy and bring it to your next sports group, to your football team, to your baseball team, or whatever. But whatever it is, I hope that Nate can kind of take that and bring it, keep it here in Atlanta, and keep that energy towards our hometown teams. Folks, it is 2:00. I've got to get going to make that money. Just want to stop in and holler at y'all. We'll pop in later on during the week, and definitely pop in this weekend for the 4th of July. I know a lot of y'all are going to be on vacation, but we're going to have a couple of, might have some live barbecue that we might talking about that. So we'll see how that ends up working out this weekend. But we will catch you guys this weekend. Oh, don't forget to the admins have put up the T-shirt, the Atlanta Bird Gang T-shirt. I will not lie to you. When they put up the post yesterday, I was at work. But make sure you guys either message Tidy Jones or Brian or Marcus Washington and let them know that you're interested in getting the Atlanta Bird Gang T-shirts. We, of course, had those are the same shirts that we wore in the group draft night that we got a lot of reaction out of, and that we're trying to do some things on a bigger scale going into the season, y'all, because again, we need to rally this thing. By this time in July, it's at this time, 30 days from now, it's going to be almost time to kick this bad boy off. And we need to get the momentum going this year. I think we're gonna get this thing rolling. Appreciate that. Wait, what's up, Ken? Ken says, hope they do keep Nate. Now, Ken, they keeping Nate. Matter of fact, they said he doesn't want to discuss what's his name? The guy that's on 92.9, Coonan. He says that by Nate's request, he wants to keep focused on what's going on the court. He doesn't want to do any negotiating for his contract, for his eventual contract. He ain't going nowhere. He doesn't want to distract from that. So he's going to do that in the offseason. He's going. And then, hey, Antonio, thank you, man. And I appreciate you buzzing in for me, brother. I don't care if we have a slight difference of opinion. I want to hear the opinion. I'm not one of those folks that's going to sit here and cuss you out. Well, I don't do all that, man. I don't play like that. I respect you and you respect me. But I think I can always respect the difference of opinion. I always just want to make sure you and I know, you know, at the end of the day, look, we all about the same goal. So I appreciate your feedback today, brother. Ken says, are y'all gonna get the hoodies too? Man, I need to get some hoodies. Listen, again, I'm gonna tell Tidy and Brian to make sure they go on live to make sure they let people know about this. I mean, this is the time of the year where people might have, I don't know, y'all might have a little extra money on your hands so you can make those purchases. I would love to get a hoodie because you don't think about those November, December games in June, but you a smart man, Ken. Look, I'm buying all these short sleeve shirts and sleeveless shirts in the summer, like, yeah, the Falcons. Then all of a sudden November hit and that Hawk gets you. And y'all know, if y'all been to the stadium, when you walk to that door and you come out of, whether you doing the parking lot or from the bus, as soon as you get out and open, that Hawk just knock you over. You ain't think about them hoodies now. You think about them hoodies then. But I will make sure that we figure that out. Y'all take care of yourselves, man. Like I said, we'll see each other this weekend, and I'll let the fellas know to make sure we talk about those that equipment